Welcome back to another Blu-ray update. A pretty big one, actually. I've bought a bunch of things getting ready for October's horror challenge, which, by the way, I do that every year for the last 6 years, I think, where I try to watch 100 horror films in 31 days, and I post daily videos of my progress. So, yeah, looking forward to doing that again. I've already got my watch list lined up, and some of that's what you're going to see today. And with next, I got another update next week with some films I picked up in anticipation of the October Horror Challenge. So, anyway, let's get started. First up, the Vengeance Trails box set from Arrow. What a great set! Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. You got a nice booklet covering the films. Although, for people like me that are kind of losing their eyesight a little bit, you can see the print's pretty difficult to read. Very small print. First up, let's talk about And God Said to Cain. Klaus Kinski in an unusual role as the protagonist in a spaghetti western revenge story. He's usually the antagonist. And he probably was the antagonist as far as the actual production of the film, but he was great. I mean, he's just eats up the scenery. Directed by Antonio Margheriti. I give this as an 8 out of 10. Fantastic stuff. I mean, pretty typical Spanish spaghetti westerns in general. You've got it's a revenge story, and it's Kinski gets kind of betrayed by a gang that they pull a robbery, and then they pin the rap on him, kind of thing. Yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed it. Kinski in an unusual for him role there. Another practically a masterpiece is Franco Nero in Massacre Time. Lucio Fulci. I mean, you can see this is a really good spaghetti western with a lot of gory sequences, and a lot of sadistic sequences as well. But this is about a family with a sadistic son named Junior that kind of tortures the townspeople, and Franco Nero comes back to basically under the guise of getting revenge. Comes back, and there's a lot of twists and turns. It's a good one. I got to check out some more Fulci. I wish Fulci had done more spaghetti westerns. It's an 8 out of 10 as well. Now, the one I wasn't so I didn't dislike this one, but it was probably my least favorite of the box. Is Robert Woods and My Name Is Pecos. Directed by Lucidi, I believe. Yeah, this one, I think the main character, Robert Woods, it plays a Mexican. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it with him. The story was good. I just didn't think he was a very good lead. Maybe it's just me, but I just thought it kind of fell flat. It wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it, but I give it a 6 out of 10. And all these have audio commentaries and interviews, host of special features. And then finally, another fantastic film, Maximano Dell'Amano's Bandidos. Another great western. This has some gorgeous imagery. You've got a gunfighter at the start of the film. You got a gunfighter that he's actually betrayed by his kind of like his protege, and then he takes on another protege to get revenge. Great stuff. 8 out of 10. Fantastic box set, man. If you don't have the Vengeance Trail set, do yourself a favor and go get it, because it's fantastic. Okay, let's see. Let me cover this one real quick. Angel of Death, Jess Franco. I did a separate review of this film on Franco Fridays, which I think posted today. So, yeah, you can check that out. I'm not going to say anything else about it other than it's a bare bones full moon release with no special features. All right. Next up, I've got the Severin release for Blood of Dracula. Gorgeous release. It's a little. This thing is. It's really a really nice release. I love the artwork on here. So you've got the film in ultra high def. You've also got a CD soundtrack, and then Blu-ray. And then I haven't worked through my way through this, but I've seen Blood for Dracula many times, and I can't wait to watch it with this pristine transfer. Looking forward to it for the October Horror Challenge. It's already teed up. But yeah, this is definitely one I think you need to get. And by the way, I just saw a notification that Flesh for Frankenstein is going to get released as well. I think with a November release date. So can't wait for that. Next up is my 4K release of Dune. I guess it's a 4K. It's a 4K transfer. This is Dune. And Dune is one of those films when it came out. I remember when it came out into the theaters. I think this one kind of got lambasted a little bit. And I didn't like it. I'll be the first to say I didn't like it when it first came out. But I've rewatched it and I've warmed up to it. So I'm looking forward to checking out this 4K release. Yeah, it's a 4K transfer of Dune. You've got the Blu-ray as well. So this is you got some lobby cards. It's an interesting film, really an interesting novel. If I had the time, I'd like to sit down and actually read the novel, or it actually became like a series of novels, I believe. This thing is loaded with special features. I mean, it's just too many to go through. Disc 2 is nothing but well, it's the bonus Blu-ray disc. So the disc 1 is your 4K. But yeah, there's a host of special features on this puppy. It's very hard to see. Nice release. I like the box cover art. Next up is an imprint release from. These guys are doing some great stuff now. This is the Silver Screams Cinema Collection, which, as a kid growing up on Universal horror movies and Hammer horror movies, ironically enough, I haven't seen some of these. You've got a lot of people are doing this with the box top opening up. Phantom Speaks, never seen it, but I will definitely watch it on the 31 Days of Horror. You've got The Vampire's Ghost, also not seen that. Return of the Ape Man of Bela Lugosi, of course I've seen that one, and as much as I love Bela, it's kind of depressing to see him kind of working his way through these cheap monogram B pictures. Valley of the Zombies is another one that I've seen. It's pretty decent. It's been a while. And then She-Devil, which I definitely have seen that. And Unknown Terror. Unknown Terror looks interesting. Haven't seen that one as well. So this will be some first time watches for me of films that were made in the 40s and 50s. I mean, it's amazing what I haven't seen. But yeah, this is a great box set. And look at the special. Most of the films have audio commentaries as well. Nice release from Imprint. Expensive. I think I paid $70 for this, but well worth it, I think. Next up is another full moon release. This is Night of the Eagles, and this is a Jess Franco film that I'll be talking about on the upcoming Friday. And so I'm not going to say much about it now, but it has, ironically enough, it has a relatively all-star cast, at least for Franco purposes. You've got Mark Hamill and Christopher Lee. Of course, Christopher Lee was in a number of Franco films, including Count Dracula. So, but yeah, Mark Hamill's kind of an odd star in this thing. But yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it next week. Let's see. Indicator box set. This is Hammer's Volume 6. And this is one I've been waiting for because it's got this Phantom of the Opera with Herbert Lom. So you've got Nightmare, which it's directed by Freddie Francis. And honestly, I don't remember it. Again, I've grown up with Hammer Horror and Universal, but this is one that may be a first-time watch for me. Of course, you got Phantom of the Opera with Herbert Lom. You've got Captain Clegg, Peter Cushing, Oliver Reed. This is a good one. I actually saw Captain Clegg in the theater, at the drive-ins in the 70s. And then Shadow of the Cat, which many people say is one of the best Hammer supernatural films. Haven't seen Shadow of the Cat, so this is 2 of the 4 of this set I haven't seen yet. But yeah, Indicator is pretty much knocking it out of the park with these boxes. I've got all the volumes. I think we're caught up with this. This is number 6, which is, let's see, I've got it's 6,000, and I've got number 3798. So, yep, volume 6, Hammer Collection. Let's do some more Hammer. This is volume 5, Death and Deceit. Now this one, I've already went through it, watched all the films, all the special features, so I can be a little bit more commentator about it. First up is probably the best in the box set, which is the Pirates of Blood River. That's Christopher Lee is in this, and Oliver Reed, of course, Michael Ripper. Andrew Keir is in this, and this is a pirate film without a pirate ship. It all takes place on land predominantly, but it's a hell of a pirate movie. Very, very good. Christopher Lee plays this French pirate with kind of a gimp hand, but he's an expert swordsman, and they basically are trying to raid Andrew Keir's little town because they think that it's got gold. It's a good one. Very good. I enjoyed it. There's about a 45-minute discussion about Jimmy Sangster and his career on this, which was excellent. Also, look for Kerwin Matthews in this, who was, of course, he was in the Sinbad films. Next up is a film that I had not seen before, and that's Visa to Canton, which is kind of a James Bondish type film about a guy that has to go into China, behind the lines for China, to figure out what happened to his relative who was in a plane crash. Real departure from typical Hammer, but I enjoyed it. It's a breezy 70 minutes, nothing special. I mean, it's kind of a B level James Bond type movie, but it was a decent watch. I give it a 6 out of 10. Next up is The Brigand of Kandahar, which is a John Gilling directed colonial film about basically the North India. You've got basically the battle between the colonials and North India, trying to get it separated from the British. Pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of those type films back then, I think. Oliver Reed is excellent in this, although from what was told, on the commentary, that Oliver Reed thought this was his worst movie, but I think it was one of his better efforts. Actually, I can't think of a bad Oliver Reed movie, to be honest. And then finally, The Scarlet Blade, which is kind of a neo. Well, it's a Renaissance film. You got Oliver Reed in this one as well. This is one where you've got the king, trying to be protected by a group that's being attacked by not Sir Walter Raleigh, but trying to remember who that is. Hang on a second. It's been a while since I watched this one. Yeah, Lionel Jeffries plays a colonel in this, and he's trying to hunt down people protecting the king. And Oliver Reed is kind of his right hand man. Good stuff. Scarlet Blade is a fun kind of sword and sandal type film. So yeah, that's volume 6 or volume 5 of the Hammer set. Very enjoyable. I think I've got actually I got number 1175 out of 6,000 on that one. So actually go ahead and file that one away. I'm done with it. Let's see what else we got here. I've got the 4K of Django, which is Arrow's release of Django with Franco Nero. Been a while since I watched Django, but obviously it's a classic. Can't wait to check that one out. Here's one that's kind of disappointing. I got the Vestron Sundown Vampires. The Vampires in Retreat. It's got John Carradine as the lead vampire. This one fell flat for me. This one tried to be a comedy, and it just didn't. It's like a comedic spaghetti western with vampires. I just didn't think it was very good. I thought the acting was flat, and I thought wasn't too impressed with not John Carradine, David Carradine. John Carradine's son, David Carradine. I didn't care for it. I thought David Carradine looked extremely uncomfortable, kind of sleptwalked his way through this. And the comedic elements just didn't work for me. Yeah, so I didn't like it. What can I tell you? I think this is one of those films that has, it was made in the late 80s, and there probably is some nostalgia as far as people's interest in this film, but I gave it a 4 out of 10. I thought it was a turkey. The only reason I really bought it was because it's, once you start collecting at least for me, once you start collecting the Vestron line, it's you don't want to see a number out of sequence. It's like OCD City, so I had to go ahead and get it. Does have an audio commentary and some special features, which I've already been through, but yeah, it's one that I probably will be a long time before I pull that back out. Oh, next up is a film that I don't know that a lot of people are talking about, but I'm looking forward to talking about it, and that is Beyond the Black Rainbow, from the guy that did Mandy, Spanish director. Beyond the Black Rainbow. Let's see. Panas Camatas. This is a fantastic horror film. Well, it's more of a sci-fi. It's a cross between a slasher movie and 2001: A Space Odyssey, is what it is. Really bizarre, artistic, fascinating film. Non-linear plot. The plot is basically you've got a doctor that runs this health clinic, wellness, wholeness type clinic, and he's got this woman who has special powers, like telekinetic type powers, and he's keeping her captive. He's obsessed with her, and things spiral downward uh, to a kind of a crescendo in the last 30 minutes. It's beautifully shot, fascinating to look at, uh, very much analogous to the last 20 minutes of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a fascinating film. Highly recommend it. I give it an 8 out of 10. I liked it better than Mandy, and I liked Mandy, so that should tell you something. Yeah, Beyond the Black Rainbow. Highly recommended. Let's see. Next up is Years of Lead. Arrow's police crime releases here. Let's see. I've not watched these yet. I'll just tell you that right now. So first up, you got No, the Case is Unhappily Resolved. Colt 38, and then Savage 3. So I may get to these before October. I don't know. I'm kind of running out of time here, but looks like a really nice box set. And then finally, I think I've already showed this once before, but what a gorgeous set this is. This is the Damagen trilogy from Arrow, and this is from the Japanese company that made the Gamera films, but it's basically a cross between Akira Kurosawa morality tales and a Japanese golem, kaiju like golem. And the golem statue takes out revenge or exacts revenge on people that do terrible things. I tell you what, these are three fantastic films, and this is a must own. This may be one of the releases of the year for me. Highly recommended. All three films are fantastic. If you like the first one, which I think is the best, you'll like the other two. But because it's almost the same, really the same plot. It's just kind of a different. It's just like a small different twist, details in the plot. But basically, it's about villagers that good versus evil, and then when evil conquers, good goes to this golem statue and to try to extract revenge. Great stuff. Great stuff. Damagen trilogy. Highly recommended. Okay, I think that's 22 minutes in. I think that's going to do it. And if you have any comments about those films, let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you watching.